Sam from Road Trail Run here. I want to give you my review of the new Garmin Forerunner 45. It's Garmin's least expensive Forerunner, although the 35 is still in the lineup. It comes in at $200. It weighs a mere 36 grams, and it has a 42-inch diameter. Its battery rating is 13 hours in training, 7 days in everyday use. I recently did a test where I got 5 hours in. I did 4 hours of GPS training and over 5 days, and I still have a little bit of battery left here, as you can see. So it's a color screen. I'm going to take it off. Nice silicone strap. It's a watch really that's quite small, so it fits small wrists like mine very well. Maybe a bit small in stature, if you will, compared to say the Garmin Forerunner 945. However, what you'll get, and this I've done this in my testing multiple times, is you'll get identical average pace and wrist heart rate as well as distance. For all intents and purposes, very close. And you'll see at the end in the app, in the Garmin Connect app, I'll compare some of those. So let's take a look at some of the features of the watch. So it's all button operated. It's only 11.4 millimeters thick. Super light on the wrist, so let's take a look. You can get at your history of your runs, also, of course, over on Garmin Connect. You can see here, we'll take a look at yesterday. We did a 17-mile hike. Now here it trued up from the 945. I was just wearing it. I wasn't running GPS yesterday, so it does sync up with your other Garmin devices. Here's my run on Friday. Press the wrong button. You can see you get time, pace, average heart rate, steps, and of course your laps. So we'll go back. Garmin has a new Garmin Coach program for this watch and some of the others, including the Forerunner. So I've signed up for a half marathon plan. For half marathon I have in November, and here it's asking me to do the first benchmark run. Get the weather, including hourly as well as future days. You get basic message notifications, and you get music control, and you access music control just by holding any button down until it shows up. You also get a My Day, which is pretty much identical to what you see on the higher end Garmin's. So you get your steps, you get your calories, and your activity minutes. If we press, well, that's the weekly activity minutes. So after our big hike, you can see I'm over my number. There's the steps for today. Yesterday I had 39,003 steps, which was identical on both the Forerunner 45 and 945, right to the step or within a couple steps. Here are the calories. So let's move on to another screen. Here you've got your heart rate. The second number is your stress level, and the third is Garmin's new body battery metric. It's your last 4 hours heart rate, average over 7 days. There's my stress level. I'm definitely resting. Haven't done much today. Now the body battery really, and you can see I'm still at 84% after that long hike yesterday. Includes heart rate variability, your activity, and other metrics to kind of give you a feel for where you stand in terms of recovery. I'm finding it really quite useful. So let's keep. And there we see on the main screens, we see the same statistics. I added those widgets. Now, when we go to go for a run, we're going to press here. We're going to see the workout, which I'm going to skip. So GPS acquisition is also very much identical to the 945. I'm undercover here, so it may take a little while. But what I want to show you is when you get to your data screens, you're going to get fewer metrics than what you'd find on a higher-end Garmin. So let's take a look at the ones that are available. So you can get heart rate, calories, heart rate zone, lap time, lap distance, lap pace, average pace, and cadence, as well as steps and time of day. So these are all the basics of what you need for in a running watch. So it doesn't have all kinds of more elaborate metrics that you can pick up on some of the higher end Garmin's, but it's perfectly adequate, given especially that the basics are all just as accurate as on the higher end ones in my testing. I'm going to back out of here. We've acquired our GPS, and then I'm going to show you one more thing here. By holding down the top left button, we access a short menu, and there's a number of things here. I'll just scroll through them. There's your music control. Now, assistance. This is a new feature on the newest Garmin's. The 945 also has it. So if I hold this button down, it will alert my contact list that I need help. There's also an incident detection feature. And what this appears to be, because I accidentally set it off once, if you have a sudden stop or you fall, you'll have it'll start to initiate a process, and you have 30 seconds to let it go all the way through or cancel. That will notify your contacts. So what happened was I actually stopped very suddenly in a run, and it triggered the incident detection, which was pretty cool. So it's a safety feature. And you can also, if you have your phone with you, be tracked as well by your friends and loved ones. So the Garmin Forerunner 45, it's a $200 watch. It has all the basics you might need in a running watch. It's not the highest end of training systems, but it is certainly totally adequate. Now, in the next part of our video, we're going to show you how everything looks on Garmin Connect, and you'll see comparative runs side by side of the Forerunner 45 and the highest end 945, which is $600. So now on to the comparisons. Thank you for watching. Okay, I want to give you a bit of an introduction or overview of the Garmin Connect app and how our Forerunner 45 performed. You'll see right away Rye running two runs. Well, I recorded on the Forerunner 45 and also the top of the line $600 Forerunner 945, and we got almost identical statistics. The Forerunner 45 is on top, and the Forerunner 945 is down below. You'll also see what we've recorded in terms of heart rate statistics, steps, intensity minutes. Battery is an interesting feature of the Garmin Connect app and the watch. Basically, it takes a number of data points, including activity, heart rate variability, and stress, to show you how you're doing during the day. Obviously, you can see on the left here that while I was working out, I lowered my rating, and as the day progressed, I've recovered a little bit. It also measures stress, calories, sleep. You can see the different stages of sleep for last night, and you can review prior days as well. Then let's look at yesterday's running. You can see again, almost identical. These were both road runs, a little bit different, but basically the same course. The bottom is the Forerunner 45, and the top is the Forerunner 945. And there's my resting heart rate and other statistics for the day. And for the last 7 days. A bit exaggerated because it's double counting all the both watches. Now we're going to go over and take a look at what you can set up on the watch itself. So here we're going to take a look. Now, unlike the higher end Garmin's, you have fewer activities that you can configure to the watch, and as we discussed earlier, fewer data fields as well. So for example, we don't see trail run on this, or skiing or golf. As we said earlier, there's no barometric altimeter in the 45. However, I found that it was fairly close to the 945 with its barometric altimeter in terms of elevation. It was generally low, 10 to 15 feet, so that's pretty darn good. So basically, you get a lot of statistics out of this little watch. You don't get all the physiological and recovery statistics you get out of the higher end Garmin. But when you look at this, basically the basics of distance, average pace, and heart rate are, for all intents and purposes, identical between the $200 Forerunner 45 and the $600 Forerunner 945. So your choice comes down to how many other features you need between the 45 and the 945. You've got the 245, you've got the 645, you can have music, etc. But this is a very competent little watch for the basics of running and tracking your other health and activity statistics. Thank you very much for watching Road Trail Run.